The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount is yours at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. 10% discount on your legal fees. Dan Moylan with you here, as well as Michael Normanton and Rob Conlon. This part of the show is Heroes and Villains. We'll pick one of each from the last 7 days. First is the Ken Bates Villain of the Week award, named in honour of our former owner and chairman who made us all pretty miserable for a bit. So who has made us sad this week? Diego Llorente.
Plus referee Rob Jones.
Yep. I mean, so many people nominated Llorente.
Misbehaving when bathing nominated Llorente, which was maybe a little bit harsh. Billy B nominated Science, the experiment to see what happens when you sew a man's legs on the wrong way around and replace his brain with a potato is a step too far.
TJ is sort of blaming someone else while nominating Llorente. The swamp witch that cursed Diego.
Can you say that?
I'll leave the second bit off.
Suggested he's got a meth dealer, which he obviously hasn't. It's a comedy device, isn't it, to highlight the incompetence in his performance. Sazzy, Bobby, Reese, Tim, Tom.
Loads of others.
Yeah, loads of people nominated. Thank you. Rob Jones, the referee. I'm a bit like this about blaming referees for heroes and villains. Like it feels like we're unloading responsibility for the defeat onto the ref. But it was gross incompetence, wasn't it?
That's what referees are there for.
Yeah, fair point.
Part of the fun. One of the things that first attracted me to football as a kid was that I could stand on a seat and shout the referee's a wanker even though I was 10.
Yeah.
And normally that would have, at home, it'd be like, you can't really
shouting that at your mum.
You can't really be saying that. Like, don't speak to your gran like that.
Who's the bastard in the black? Who's the bastard in the black? No, Nan, sorry.
But no, I think it's fair enough that we slag him off, and in line with it, I suppose as well. VAR. Philip saying VAR officials. The system itself is fine, but if the referees are using it as shit, it's pretty pointless. Which we did see. That basically was the fault of it. If they'd have pulled it back to look again at our decision, which Jesse wanted them to, he did ask nicely. Ish.
I'm getting sticky. You haven't even put a name on this. Who's this coward?
What's this?
For suggesting my point a goal stat has failed completely when you concede 5 absolute gifts. No, it's over the course of a season, isn't it?
Well, I know, but what if we lose every game 5-2?
Yes, we won't though. But if we go and beat Forest 2-0 or whatever, we'll have got 12 goals and we'll have 11 points on the board, so it'll still track there or thereabouts. It's like it's over the course of a season, so go away. Not having criticism.
Well, I'm just having a look at the league table now. Manchester City, 20 goals, 14 points. Not fair, that.
They've wasted 6 goals there, haven't they?
They really have.
But it just goes to show how ridiculously far ahead they are, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Except they're not the second.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of like squad building, they've got Haaland in there who just scores for fun, and they've put 6 past Forest, haven't they?
Yeah, Haaland is like cheating. Really, they shouldn't have been allowed him.
Oh, but what's that? Arsenal they've scored 14 goals, 15 points. Imagine that. Spurs scored 12, 14 points. It tracks, is what I'm saying.
Ish,
it does.
They're all different numbers, aren't they?
Newcastle 7-7. Southampton 7-7. It tracks.
Sometimes.
West Ham 4-4. I'm only picking out the ones that,
of course,
prove my argument, which is what you do with any kind of.
That's how you argue on the internet. Ignore the other data.
Ignore the evidence that doesn't suit you.
Exactly. That's absolutely fine.
Another Dan has been on nominating Bamford for his miss.
I could have scored that, he says, which is something you do say quite often.
Or my Nan could have scored, to bring Nans back into it. My Nan could have scored that.
Luke Varney couldn't have scored it though, as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, Luke Varney was closer in. Managed to hook it back off the line, didn't he, against Southampton that time?
I mean, Brentford as a concept actually quite underrepresented in this. There's a couple of nominations from the concept of it and all the rest of it, but you can't get offended at Brentford, can you? I mean, they deserve to win. They've got, Tony, who's a good player up front, made our stupid defence look stupid. What can you do?
Neil Masterman nominates Janssen.
Yeah.
As in Pontus. The Danish, they've probably got loads of Janssens. For being a bit of a wanker, pretending he doesn't wish he was still at Leeds, which is true. I know Brentford fans will say otherwise, but
yeah, of course he does.
He was a lot more concerned about Luke Ayling, I noticed, than whoever the Brentford player was that went down. Janssen went over to Ayling to make sure he was all right.
It's going to be VAR in it or the ref. Which one? Are we putting them together?
I mean, it's kind of one and the same. If I mean, we did see who was the ref who actually went to look at the screen and didn't give the decision.
Michael Oliver, that was the Forest game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that it was a weird on that because I don't know if that was a penalty or not.
It was kind of the sideways handball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't really know how handball works now.
No, I don't either. I watched it loads of times and went, yeah, I don't know. Flip a coin. It'd be good if refs did that sometimes, actually. If they watched it ages and went, oh, I can't tell, can you?
It goes
the
VAR, then the screen, and then to the coin.
Yeah, they just go, here we go. We won a European tie on a flip of a coin once, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Before they had penalty shootouts.
Yeah. They couldn't be separated, so they flipped a coin, end of extra time.
Bring it back.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Bring it back for VAR.
I actually quite like
if you can't decide within the first minute of it, just flip a coin.
I quite liked what Michael Oliver did because it goes to show there is a point potentially to sending the refs to the screen. And if they get it right here, if they push through with reform on this and the ref has it within his gift to then say, I'm not going to be pressured into overturning this just because you think I should. It's a sign of at least a strong ref, whereas I think they're all made of candy floss at the minute, like from an emotional point of view.
I mean, part of the issue could be that you get a strong ref who will steadfastly stick to a bad decision. Because like, no, I'm sticking with the decision. And people on his ear might be going, yeah, but there was actually no contact whatsoever. And he goes, shut up. But I won't be spoken to like that. You're carded.
But that's fine. It means you can direct your hatred to the guy on the field rather than Stockley Park.
So what this is building to, the logical conclusion, get rid of Stockley Park.
Yeah.
That's the real obvious way of getting rid of this.
Was it Keith Hackett who suggested that they should have the VARs at least at the ground rather than in Stockley Park remote? And it would then enable the VARs, like assign specific VARs in ref teams. So
you can choke stuff at them?
Yeah, but that's what they did some years back, wasn't it? Was to assign fixed ref and linesman teams to basically stay together all season. So they understand how each other works. And it just makes decision making that much better and more harmonious, I guess is the right phrase. And by putting the VAR ref into that dynamic, maybe it changes things a little bit and they learn how to work together. It's one of like 12 points that he listed as possible reforms that would make the whole shit show better. Because it is a shit show.
West End Ralph has an idea as well. He says that he doesn't understand how no one has had the idea to look at it in other sports and go from there. They use it in rugby league.
Arrogance.
We are not rugby league fans, are we, Dan? But no. you do like rugby league. Does it work in rugby league?
I mean, I've been against VAR from the start because often it doesn't work properly in rugby league. It's a bit of a mess at times. But
it does work in, though. Rugby union, it does.
You hear it, don't you, in rugby league as well? That you can
sometimes, union. Yeah. I think it's only when it's on the BBC, weirdly, you get to hear the video ref, but not on Sky. But the problem is when you just send in one subjective decision for another man to have his subjective opinion, it's always just going to be a bit of a mess. Like I always say, you look at a newspaper on a Monday morning, they'll always have columnists from a ex-ref talking about the weekend's decision, and quite often you look at different papers and they'll have different opinions, and you think, well, how are we going to work this? But
how is that? And what I was going to say to Michael's point is like, how is it any different in terms of assigning the blame game to a ref giving a shit decision inside the stadium? It's not really, is it? So at least it's familiar ground for us. You know, you can accept a bad decision if you can at least understand the reasoning of it. You know, that's maybe what it should be there for.
I'd like a bad decision instantly, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I think it would improve the flow of the game.
Just go, yeah, penalty, fine. It's wrong, fuck off, don't care. Just take it. Take it and move on.
Of course, the board have got some pelters this week as well.
Jesse Marsh nominating him.
Right. Oh,
not really. Etc.
Jelly and Grumpy Git Kev among those who've nominated the boards for general direction of travel. Is it this week?
Jelly says they're the three horsemen of the apocalypse. The only reason humanity has survived is because they've left in charge of recruiting the fourth.
Excellent. That is a great line. Who's your villain of the week then?
Ref stroke VAR.
Are we letting Llorente off the hook?
We're being kind to Diego. I don't like giving it to our own players.
I don't really. And he's had a lot of stick. I'm sure he knows he's done wrong.
Yeah, he knows he's been a naughty boy, doesn't he?
Whereas the referees have gone back to their own little referees compound and probably all been like, good job, guys. We've had a really good weekend here. Solid. Nothing went wrong at all. Do you think with VAR, because it felt like this weekend has spiralled out of control with it, do you think one thing going wrong makes more things likely to go wrong?
Yes.
Because psychologically everyone gets in a weird space with it and is like, oh, we know that thing's gone wrong at Newcastle.
Well, perfect example is Jesse Marsh's red card. That on its own probably you might think doesn't warrant a red card, but that's been coming for weeks. So they clearly all talk and have been saying we've got to clamp down on his behaviour. So I think it spirals.
With VAR, it feels like if you've ever been in like a near car accident and then you feel like you drive like an absolute idiot for a bit after it. It feels a bit like referees have done that this weekend. Some stuff's gone wrong and they're all panicked by it and have just completely lost their minds.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to understand as well, I think, from their point of view, like, even though they are refs and therefore perverts, as Moscow described them the other week, they are still caught up in the middle of the Premier League circus, aren't they? It must involve, being in the middle of a game, still must involve a lot of adrenaline. And some of that must transfer to the VARs as well.
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking that there's so much at stake, this is going around the globe. It's like being, I don't know, I guess one of the researchers or somebody important on the X Factor on a Saturday night, like we've got to get this live broadcast right. It comes with expectation, doesn't it, about the scale of the product that the Premier League is.
And as a ref stood in front of a screen going, you have to make a decision on this now. Watch this and then tell me. I don't fucking know. That's where the coin should be an option for.
Yeah. So if I was saying after a 2-minute time limit has expired,
get the coin out.
1 minute?
Give them a minute.
Other people have said like you should be allowed to look at the replays from like each angle once, and once you've viewed all those, if there's no decision, you just got to stick with it.
What if you miss something on one of the replays though? That's the difficulty of it. There's always going to be some scope for it. Just get rid of the fucking thing.
Yeah,
get rid.
Okay, and bring in the coin.
Get rid. If you can't get rid, bring in the coin to at least add an element of fun. What
would you put on the coin? Would you go for a standard coin, or would you go for a specially minted Premier League one that they could flog off around the world?
Oh, you got to just go for something. Let the refs bring their own thing.
How big would it be? Would you like a massive coin that people can see?
A big novelty chocolate coin?
Yeah, like those ones in Starbucks you get that like about yay big.
I think I made a money thing. I've got a Starbucks.
Well, of course you know. There's a bloody kettle at home.
Exactly.
But are you aware of them then, Rob?
I've heard of Starbucks.
As a metropolitan young man, they're about, I don't know, maybe 5 inches across or whatever. Nice big coin like that, you can see it. That'd add some visual spectacle, wouldn't it?
You keep the gold wrapper, don't you? But it's just empty. It's hollow.
And then you could eat the coin afterwards. That should be part of it. Yeah. The ref then has to run around chomping on it
with a belly full of chocolate. Right, great. So it's the refs and VAR.
Fine. Good.
The Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award, let's do that. Someone who's made us feel happy, who's represented what's good about Leeds United over the last 7 days. Obvious place to start will be Sinistera, because he's done some good stuff.
Yep, Thomas Frank's Sweaty Grotto has got in touch to say, just it's fine, isn't it? Just keep him on the field and give him the ball. It was the policy with Rafinha.
They're just picturing the walls, like these uneven, rocky walls with sweat just dripping down them onto the floor. Sorry, go on.
Sweat and other bodily fluids, potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep him on the field, give him the ball, let him do stuff. Easy.
Brooksy, Chris, Keith, Ginger, Paul, Ethan, Jez and Craig all weighing in on this one, Sinistera. Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the short.
He's good.
Short reason for his nomination. I mean, really good. His goal got completely overshadowed, didn't it? Because they scored 5 of them.
Yeah. I think was it Moscow who said, actually, was it in his match report when he said, if he'd have totally Yeboa'd it into the top corner, they'd be talking about it for goal of the month. But all the skill was in the flick over the head, wasn't it? And it was just, then he just rolled it into the corner like it was just everyday business.
He's got this real calm air about him of just, I'm good, I'm better than you, this is what I do. Like his finish against Everton, you sort of thought, weaker foot, quite far out. He's just rolled it into the bottom corner. Nice one.
That's what he does.
A low shot never looks as good, does it? Even though I think from a goalkeeper's point of view, they're harder to save. Something really low, like into a low bottom corner. Because obviously you've got to get down to it, and they tend to be quite big, the goalkeepers. So it's probably a smart finish, but yeah,
not sexy enough.
Start twatting him off the crossbar if you want the people to really enjoy him.
And maybe we see that against Forest. Right, on to Luke Ayling, the return of the Ayling. Sarah's been in touch.
We're struggling here, trying to find some joy in this, but the joy is Luke Ayling. Thank God he's back. Within a few seconds, he's broken his own nose and he's put an assist in. Welcome back, Bill.
Oh, you didn't put the opening swooshy sound on there, did you?
Don't get everything.
Just
sorry about that.
Been substandard at your job again?
Sloppy, very, very sloppy. But yeah, it was the Luke Ayling overlap. I'm sure we could go back to previous games and look where Rasmus has not gone at that point. He's been in a position to overlap, and he's not quite had the confidence.
Is he scared?
Maybe a bit. Whereas Ayling was like, "Fuck it, the face is already ruined. Let's just get stuck in and put a ball in." So yeah, it was great, was Ayling.
The bit I liked about that as well, because I think it was from a corner, wasn't it? And he sprinted back to sort of get back in position in case they countered, and then Leeds kept the ball, and he sprinted again forward. Yeah. And put that together with the broken nose, and it is sort of the Luke Ayling we've all grown to know and love.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of nominations. Simon, Irish and Annoyed, Dave, Rossman, Sam Not Byram, Sir Richard of Castleford's back as well. All with nominations for Bill's return. Yeah. It's nice to see him, and as Phil was saying on the Phil Hay show, there might be life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, I think so. I'd sort of not written him off. I'd started to see that this was maybe his last season, and then you get a little cameo like that, and you're like, oh, he's still our best fullback. I
think that's the nice thing. 'Cause obviously, he's got a year left on his deal, and you go, all right, then play well, you get another one. That's how it should work. Yeah, and it's a good start so far.
Being rewarded for good output.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Forshaw last year, didn't we?
What's Michael's excuse?
How dare you?
You didn't even put the clicky noise in.
Went wrong yesterday. I had to go to a hospital with my son with a split open head.
What were you doing? What did you do that to him for?
Hey, no, it was a trampoline incident, not involving me, I will say, but a clash of heads.
Oh yeah, classic. Oh, did they go down and?
It's quite bad actually.
I've seen the pictures and I did wince a bit.
I felt a bit queasy with it, but he's fine anyway. Glued it back together.
That's what they do now, isn't it?
No bother. Same as Luke Ayling's nose. Just stick it back somehow on his face, like more or less straighten it up.
Some Gorilla Glue.
Exactly. Never did Steve Bruce in the arm, did it?
Jesse Marsh getting hero nominations this week, which feels slightly controversial given the way it's all gone.
Well, some people like it.
So one of the nominations here is from Llorente takes acid before he plays.
I mean, Costa Blancas does come with the caveat as well. Marsh in his video with Nonto, shame he's a clown who thinks getting sent off is going to help anything.
Yeah, but I mean, Llorente takes acid before he plays. These names are getting a bit out of control, aren't they? But
yeah.
For acting on the sideline, like we all like watching. But that's both a good and a bad thing, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, Scrooge is saying that his theatrical performance is far stronger than any written message could be to the refs club or whatever it's called, that the whiny-faced fat characters do to get an apology. Fourth official. Strange.
He also gets a nomination for calling out the board, probably unintentionally, but still good to know the truth.
The fourth official.
The board can't blame it on bad foreign man who didn't want any players to be bought this time.
The fourth official, sorry, as I've been trying to say, got a nomination by Luke Ayling's boxer nose.
Oh, for yes, he gets it for not putting up with Jesse Marsh's bullshit.
Yin and yang. All this. So Liam Cooper, some of the outriders here, I think Liam Cooper gets a nomination for being back and not being Llorente. Fair enough. Global warming. Yeah,
for the slow impending heat death of the planet. And I guess Sinistera's goal was good, so him too.
Feel again a bit nihilistic, isn't it? All this stuff. Did you Lee? What's his face? Lee Dixon did the co-coms on the international feed, and he said allegedly, didn't he, about global warming? Alleged global warming being the reason why goalkeepers don't wear caps anymore. Explain the logic of that if you can.
Has it been chatting to Matt Letizia or something?
I don't know. Strauch nominations for his call-up. A number of people there. Bobby Eyebrows, Jelly, Scott and Scrooge.
Yeah, Jelly refers to him as a big, sexy total football pirate, which is good. Yeah, looking really good, though.
Can you read out the Rocker nominations? He's got a few, little sprinkling there. Can you read the top one, please, Michael? In the authentic accent of Jimmy Walker from Oaktown, California.
I don't know what a California accent's like.
Well, it's an American accent. They're all the same.
Bust his ass and deserve the goal, maybe 2.
Not good enough. Do it again.
He bust his ass, man.
And
he deserves a goal.
How many?
Maybe 2.
Good. Thank you. And Riley Clement quietly doing really well in the last 2 games. Gave him hope for a point after his goal. Yes. Nonto. He's short and strong and likes an espresso.
No, like an espresso.
Oh, like an espresso.
Short and strong, you see.
I fucked it up, haven't I?
And with little ears. And which is also nice.
James, his parents, for getting time off work at the last minute. That was good.
Yeah, it was good to see him come. I mean, it was cute video. I'll give him that. I like him so far. I want to pinch his cheeks. Oh, come here.
And Tyler Adams has got a couple of nominations as well for.
I want to pinch his cheeks. He looks dead muscly too. He'd probably kick my head in.
He'd beat the fuck out of you. You're twice his age and he'd kick the shit out of you, wouldn't he?
Yep.
He'd absolutely put you down. Right. Tyler Adams got a couple of nominations as well. Hero of the week. Who is it? Sinistera, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. Or Ayling.
Him or Ayling.
Ayling got his nose all smashed up.
Yeah. So he suffered for his art, didn't he? It was nice to see him. I tweeted out from the accounts, and it was like your mate just popping round for a coffee you didn't expect. Your doorbell goes, "Oh, who's come round? I better put my pants on." And it's Luke Ayling stood there. And he's, I've brought you these pack of biscuits, and you just come in, have a coffee, and chat about old times.
He took it in his stride with his nose as well, because I think if that had happened to me, I'd have been like, I think I need to immediately go to hospital with this. I can't see it, but I know it wasn't.
I mean, the fact that I can't breathe is.
I know it wasn't here when I started the day, so like it's well over one side of my face now. But he just cracked on and provided an assist.
And given that you did have a journey to hospital for your son, you understand what it's like to suffer like that.
Sort of, yes.
Yeah. I'm just trying to build you up here, Michael. For once, after your shoddy performance with the clips. So is it Sinisterra or is it Ayling? I feel like we're leaning towards Ayling.
I think Sinisterra won it last week, didn't he?
Let's give it Bill then.
Yeah, spread the love. All right, Bill Ayling is our hero of the week. Nice to see him back. What else have we got coming up this week then? Phil Hayes' show is on Thursday. We've got the Extra Ball where we talk about, we're going to do the transfer window in more depth. Was it good? Was it bad? Have we got warm bodies? Are they cold? All that kind of thing. Or are they slightly tepid? That's quite enough of that. Thank you. We'll wrap the show up there.
10% off your legal fees.
Yeah, we'll go speak to Levi solicitors right now about this show, and we'll speak to you later in the week, potentially.
The Square Ball Podcast.